Why does it hurt so much when someone pulls away, especially when it seemed like things were going so well? Why does the absence of communication leave you feeling like you've just been hit with a ton of bricks? The truth is, silence can be more painful than a harsh breakup. It's the unknown, the uncertainty, the emotional limbo that leaves you feeling stuck. It's like you're left on red, trying to make sense of someone's behavior without getting any clear answers. In this podcast, I'm going to break down why this happens, why they might not be reaching out, and most importantly, how you can take control of the situation and turn this silence into an opportunity for your personal growth. Before you get too caught up in your own head, wondering if you did something wrong or if it's your fault that someone's gone quiet, I want to give you some perspective. This situation isn't just about you. It's about them, too. And it's about something many men fail to realize. When someone goes silent, it's often because they're dealing with their own issues that have nothing to do with you. Here's the first truth you need to understand. People go silent when they are intimidated. Sounds harsh, doesn't it? But let's break it down. You've been working hard on yourself, getting fit, leveling up in your career, focusing on your mental health, maybe even becoming more self-aware. You've built up a level of confidence that radiates from you, and people can feel that. But not everyone is comfortable with that level of energy. Some people are insecure about their own worth, their own life choices, and they see your growth as a reminder of what they're lacking. They feel exposed, not good enough, and rather than confront their insecurities, they withdraw. It's not that they don't like you, it's that they're afraid of not measuring up. Think about this for a second. When you're working on yourself, whether it's your body, your career, your mindset, or your relationships, you start to become a force to be reckoned with. People start noticing your energy. You stop accepting mediocrity. You're not just another face in the crowd anymore. You're the guy who walks into a room and commands attention without even trying. But here's the problem for some people. They're not used to being around someone like you. When you start showing up as your best self, you raise the bar, and it makes others question where they stand. If someone isn't at a similar level of confidence or growth, they might retreat instead of stepping up to meet you. The real kicker here is that this intimidation is subconscious. They might not even realize it themselves, but the truth is, the higher your value goes in their eyes, the more it makes them question their own worth. And for some people, when they're faced with that uncomfortable truth, the only solution they know is to avoid it. And they do that by disappearing. Look, not every girl out there is looking to be taken care of. Some of them are silently competing with you. Many of them have their own solid careers. Some are high net worth ladies. They've become accustomed to getting attention for their career achievements, personal achievements, just like the guys. I mean, we're not exactly living in the 1950s. The other thing is, some women aren't ready to settle down. They see how you've become serious about your goals, and many of them aren't ready to meet you at that level. A lot of them might have become used to shallow relationships, or they honestly just wanted a casual hookup, just like a lot of men. Then there are those women who, especially if they are single or divorced moms, maybe they are looking for someone who could be a good parent. And some of the guys might be too focused on their careers or want to travel around the world, move to Bali or Dubai, what have you. And maybe some of these women are looking for a guys who will stay in one place to provide stability. Because let's face it, most moms will sacrifice their own goals for their kids, but you might not want that lifestyle just yet. Then there are those women who get used to bad relationships, and sometimes, psychologically, they just don't know how to handle a guy who actually knows what he wants out of life. That level of certainty can be intimidating for anyone, any gender, if they're used to a lot of chaos and not knowing if their partner is coming or going. You being level-headed and purpose-driven could be intimidating for some people. The problem is, people don't always know how to articulate their feelings, though. That's where you have to draw some conclusions based on their actions and less on their words, or silence in some cases. It's a tough pill to swallow, but at some point, you need to come to terms with the reality. You might be too goal-oriented, or dare I say it, Bring too much value to the table for someone who is not ready to meet you at that level. Own it, live it, and love that good vibe about yourself. Not in an arrogant way, but in a "I've worked hard to become who I am" kind of way. You've put in the hours at the gym. You've put in the time to develop your career. You've cultivated your mindset, and you've built a strong sense of self-worth. When you walk into a room, you don't need validation from anyone. You know who you are and what you bring to the table. But here's where the problem lies for people who can't keep up. When you're in your element and you know you're crushing it, it can make someone who's not in that same place feel inferior. That's the kind of dynamic that leads to silence. It's easier for them to shut down than to meet you at your level. And here's the thing. It's not your responsibility to lower your standards for anyone else's comfort. Guys do this all the time. Shut down emotionally. Go quiet. Well, guess what? So do women, sometimes. Many of them will gray rock you as much as any guy would in a relationship if they're uncertain of their ability to commit. If someone isn't ready to show up for you the way you're showing up for yourself, then they aren't the right person for you. In that case, take that silence as a blessing and move on to someone who is at your level. Look, it's not always that easy, especially if you really liked the other person. You saw the potential and you could see yourself making the effort. But the problem is, they're not meeting you halfway. I get it. When you're left hanging, your mind starts to spiral. You wonder, did I say something wrong? Did I not say enough? Was I too much? These are all normal thoughts to have when someone pulls away. But let's break this cycle of self-doubt right now. Here's a reality check. Their silence is about them, not you. When someone pulls away, it's often because they're dealing with their own insecurities and self-doubt. Maybe they're questioning their own life choices, their career path, or their own sense of worth. They might even be afraid that they're not enough for you, so they go silent because they don't know how to handle the feeling of being outclassed. They pull back into their own shell instead of stepping forward and meeting you where you're at. It's not an excuse for bad behavior, but it's a pattern you need to recognize. You have to stop internalizing their silence. It's not a reflection of who you are. It's a reflection of where they are, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. The hardest truth you'll ever face in this situation is this. You cannot wait around for people to catch up to you. Here's the thing. Life moves fast. You've already been taking the steps to better yourself. You're focused, you're ambitious, you're building the kind of life that most people only dream about. And if someone can't keep up, that's their problem, not yours. When you waste time sitting around wondering if someone will come around, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're holding yourself back. You're waiting for someone else to take the lead, when in reality, you should be focusing on your own path. It's time to stop waiting for validation from others and to start validating yourself. If you've been listening to this and you're starting to feel like maybe you're wasting energy on someone who isn't showing up for you, you need to hear this loud and clear. The only validation you need is your own. When you learn to validate yourself, when you learn to trust your own worth and stop relying on others for approval, that's when you truly step into your power. You don't need someone else to tell you that you're worthy, because you already know you are. Self-validation isn't about being perfect. It's about accepting who you are, flaws and all. It's about recognizing your own growth and being proud of how far you've come. It's knowing that you don't need someone else to fill the void. You can fill it yourself. So what do you do when you find yourself in this situation? When someone goes quiet, leaving you wondering if you'll ever hear from them again? First and foremost, you keep moving forward. Don't stop your grind. Continue focusing on your personal growth. Keep working on your physical health, your mental health, your career, and your goals. Make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people who support your journey and challenge you to be better. Second, don't chase after anyone who isn't willing to meet you halfway. If they're not reaching out, it's time to let them go. Let them do the work on their own terms. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Your value is inherent, and no one should make you question that. Lastly, be patient with yourself. It's natural to feel frustrated, but understand that not everyone will be ready for the level of commitment or the kind of relationship you're looking for, and that's okay. You're not here to convince anyone of your worth. You're here to prove it to yourself. The biggest takeaway from this podcast is that you are in control of your own story. The silence? It's just a chapter. It's not the entire book. Don't let anyone's hesitation or silence define you. You are the author of your life, and you get to choose how the next chapter unfolds. Keep leveling up. Keep pushing forward. Keep working on yourself. You've got this, and anyone who's meant to be a part of your story will show up when they're ready to match your energy. And if they don't, that's their loss. Stay strong, stay focused, and remember, your journey is yours alone to shape. I'm going to end it here. Like, subscribe, drop me a comment below. Thanks for watching.